Am I live? Oh my god. So let's start. Okay. चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं. Okay, let's start. Let me take one pen and paper. It will be helpful for me. Haven't planned anything. I just started. Fortunately, I have a pen. At least I don't know when the life. Okay, I love it. Okay. Uh, so 3, 2, 1, start. So this is the first lecture of high-level system design, and in this complete playlist, I will create a playlist of around I think so 20 to 30 videos. In that 20 to 30 videos, definitely most of the concepts, each and every concepts of high-level design will going to include. See, when you study high-level design, it is a vast syllabus. Being a person who has around 2 year of experience in the industry, I can't point out anything, but as of my knowledge, uh, right now, so there is a lot of things to study, but we will going to focus. I am going to focus what are the things are most important for the interview from the interview perspective, and how mainly it's not just about the topics, it's about how you are going to interact with the interviewer. Because why I'm saying that, I have already appeared around the 7 to 8 high level system design interview, and in most of interviews, not in a high level design I failed, but high level design is my one of the strongest point I can say. So it's not just about creating multiple boxes and describing the services which database we're going to use. It's rather than understanding approach why this design you will going to draw. So it's mainly about why this pattern, why this design choose, not the things which are generally used in a market. So today in an event, I met a person who are good in sales, who deal with the clients mainly, and I learned that what you know, whatever you knowledge have, you need to have a good knowledge on that. After that, you need to believe what you are selling, what you are talking, and speak slowly, confidently. So these are the things. Let it be. Let's first focus on a network protocol. See, from around 2025 lectures, around 30 lectures, the first concept is network protocols. And in a network protocols, I will going to discuss when it will going to use, what it will going to use, in which scenario, what we will going to use. So this is the timeline that you can understand 1 to 14 what I will going to discuss in this video. Let's just start with the introduction part. When you li- take the point of network protocol, what is network protocols? So network protocol is a kind of fundamental high level system design To understand which protocol is used in a different application is crucial. Suppose when you have a WhatsApp, yeah, Telegram in your phone, when you have a Google Meet, yeah, video calling things in your phone, yeah, the live streaming platform, definitely it as application layer it use some kind of network protocols, and everything has their use cases, everything has their own fundamental things at why and what it will going to use, definitely. So in a network protocols is like rules and regulations that define how two systems will going to communicate over the network. And what is the purpose of it? The purpose is to enable the communication between the two computers and define the format and the structure of my particular message. Even if the both system speak on the same language, we need to ensure we have some kind of proper protocols for the communications. In a computer networks, in computer networks, we have a topic of OSI layer. In OSI layer, we have around seven layers: application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transportation layer, network layer, data link layer, and a physical layer. As of now, for this particular video, we will going to focus on the application layer and the transport layer. So, uh, application layer protocols. What are the application layer of protocols? We have two to three types. First, let understand. We have a client-side protocol, and we have peer-to-peer protocols. And the question rise when it is a client-server protocol and when it's a peer-to-peer protocols. Understand, when you are going to interact with any web applications like banking services, yeah, book my so anything, at that point of time you are a client and server protocol is used. But when you are using the WhatsApp, in the one front, uh, you and another front is your friend. So now what happened, they both are the person who are trying to communicate with each other. So this is called peer-to-peer protocols, and the second is first is the client server protocols. So what client server protocol includes? Client server protocol include HTTPS, FTF, FTP, SMTP, and WebSockets. And where peer-to-peer protocols is like a WebRTS. The most important for this particular lecture is HTTP, WebSocket, and the WebRTS. When you understand about the client server model, what is the basic structure? What is the basic structure? The basic structure is like first we have a web browser and we have a web server. When what is mean by a web browser? When you open HDFC, yeah, any bank applications, like take the example of Standard Chartered Bank, and you are trying to check your account balance, yeah, you want to transfer some amount. So if the request goes to the web server of this Standard Chartered Bank, so the web server is my web browser is my client. You are sitting in front, and web server is a banking server that you are sending the request to fetch your account details. So the what are the characteristics of it? So there is a one-way communication that client initiate. You wanted to check your balance, so you initiated this particular event, and client make a request. As you know, servers send a response. Okay, server authenticate. Okay, this is the account number of Anubhav, and this is the current balance. What server will going to respond? And client always initiate the conversation for what? For the client server model. This is a overall a structure of the client server model. So let's go deep in dive into the HTTP. That is called Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it has a HTTPS, and that is a secure mm, hypertext transfer protocol. So what is the behavior of it? We have a connection oriented protocols. We have two types of protocols: a connection oriented, connectionless. UDP is a connection less, whereas TCP is a connection oriented. If you don't know about the TCP and UDP, I refer go to the any YouTube videos, just understand what is the difference between TCP and UDP, and otherwise you can continue with this video, and we will going to discuss it whenever it's required. As of now, let's just keep in mind that we have a HTTP request. So it is a connection oriented protocol, and a connection is created between the client and server, and it use accessing the particular of the web server. And what it does, it's hypertext allow jumping from one page to another. So here is a diagram that shows that client and the server. Client want to make the request to server, and server respond the client request. So this is the client between the client and the server. So what are the use of? Well, it's a use of web browsing, API calls, and the REST services. Second, it's a WebSocket protocol. What is the structure of it? It has a client one, and in between the client, there is one end of client, there is another end of also client. Like as it WhatsApp, Telegram. These are the application that is based on WebSocket protocols. Client one send some data, and client to receive that particular data. What is the behavior of WebSocket? The behavior of WebSocket is that it is a bi-directional communications. Client can talk to the server, and server can also talk to the client. So still client server model, but it's not peer to peer. So what happened in this client? Uh, Before that, in a hypertext model, that is my client server model, what it does, we can only initiate from the client. But in a WebSocket, server even can able to initiate the request for the client. Suppose suppose I'm sending message to one of my friend. Now I send to the server talks to my friend. It puts the notification, okay, Anubhav has texted something. So this is how communication happens. So what is the behavior? Or as I already discussed, it is a bidirectional communication, and the client can talk to the server, and server can also talk to the client. That is the meaning of bidirectional communications. But it is a still client server model. It just happened that server can also able to talk to client, but it is basically a client server model. It is not a peer to peer. So what are the important things that you have to keep in mind is that calling WebSocket is a peer to peer. Sometimes in when we are in a discussion of technical discussion, we are confused with the peer-to-peer and the WebSocket. This is not the WebSocket. WebSocket is not a peer-to-peer. So what reality is? So the client one is talking to the server, client two is also talking to the server, but here client one is not talking to the client two, not directly. So the question is, Anwar, when it will going to use? So, uh, WebSocket is used in a messaging application. As I already discussed, WhatsApp, yeah, Telegram. Then, okay, I understand I'm going to use for the WhatsApp and Telegram, but can you tell me why? Uh, Here is the answer. When a message arrives at a server need to push into the client. The client should not keep asking, "Did you send? Did you message?" So like, "Did message come? Did message come?" And that would be inefficient. Server need the ability to initiate the communication with the client. So user one send a message to the server. Server push the user to, like a server to client communication needed. Now second is FTP, file transfer protocol. Okay, I just have read the HTTPS. Now, what is a FTP? HTTPS are mainly used at the time of web apps, but FTP is something related to file transfer protocol. Okay, so what is the behavior of FTP? FTP has two types of connection maintains. First is a connection control connection, and the second is data connections. And verb, what is control connections? It always remains. Data connection can be created and disconnected. It means that client and server always connected. It is called connection control connections. Now me and the server has always connected, but I don't require every time to send some kind of PDF file to the my server, yeah, some kind of document to the my server. Definitely no. At that point of time, data connection may be off, yeah, on based on the requirements. So why FTP is used on Verve? Because of some security. Sorry, why FTP is not used right now in the right market scenarios? Because of the data connections. When we are sending some data into FTP, uh, it is not encrypted, and file transfer happen in a plain text, and also not secure for the modern applications. So what is the alternative of it? Okay, if there is some problem, definitely there is some solution. What is the alternative? HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol, so is the one of the way to send my data to my uh, one one client to another client. Second, SMTP. Okay, then there's another protocol, SMTP. What is mean by SMTP? Definitely, whenever you are sending one mail to another, to the another mail address, and that communication happen over the SMTP. So SMTP is a simple mail transfer protocol. When it is used. So how it is used? It is used with IMAP and POP3. So Anvav, you talk about SMTP, then again you are saying IMP and POP3. See, when I'm saying SMTP, it is responsible for the sending mail, and when I'm saying IMAP, it is receiving, accessing the reading the mail. And definitely, when you are sending some kind of mail, okay, for that SMTP is responsible. Now you are received the mail, and now you wanted to open and read the mail. For that, we required IMAP, that is called Internet Message Access Protocol. And but the thing that is required, Anvav, I wanted to write a mail to HR with my resume. If I just write down, I have knowledge of this, I haven't seen my resume, how they will going to schedule my interview. At that time, a POP3 comes into the picture. What the POP3 does? POP3 download and delete from the server, and it is rarely used. So modern sender right now they are using SMTP and yeah, SMTP plus IMAP. POP3 is mainly used when we have a larger file size and wanted to send this particular large file size. So, what is the flow of email? Okay, when you are talking about the flow of email, user go to the mail, open it, and user try write the mail and send the mail. The step one is completed. User send the mail. Now, user agent, that is my client, it goes to the user agent. Now, the user agent will going to forward to MTA client, and then MTA client sent to the MTA server. Now, I have in the server this particular mail. After the MTA server, we send the message transfer agent, that is MTA again. Now it you goes to the user agent again, and then the user receiver. So this is the flow of sending mail to receiving the mail. Still, we follow the client server model into SMTP, where user agent is my client and MTA is my server. Here is also we are interacting with one, I mean, client to the server. User agent is my client, where is my server is my MTA. MTS what? Message transfer agent. So you talk lot about client server model. Why not we talk about the peer-to-peer protocols? Let's discuss. So, Anubhav, what is peer-to-peer? Peer-to-peer means there is no medium between me and my friend. So think like that. I am sitting just in front of my friend. I don't need a communication for the phone. I did not include anything in between. That is called peer-to-peer communication. So this is the structure. Client one sent to the server, and it received the client two as a server. So here, client one is also server, client two is also server. So what is the behavior of it? What is the characteristics of it? So here, all the node can talk to each other. Here, all the node can able to talk to each other, and everyone can be a client and everyone can be the receiver. So I am the client and the receiver. My friend is a client, my friend is a receiver. Because I am speaking, I am listening. My friend is speaking, my friend is listening. So here both are the person, both uh, everyone is a server and can have a behavior of client, can have a behavior of receiver, both. So whenever has a data acts as a server and direct communication between the peers. When it happened, uh, when it happened, I don't know, but like I think the Bluetooth, when we are sending some data on the Bluetooth, it's maybe. Don't trust me because I'm also new to the high level design. You can find out somewhere else this particular concept. Example of peer to peer communications. Okay, jump to the web RTS protocol. So, what is web RTS protocol? It is called web real time communications. So, what is the type? It's a peer to peer protocol. What? So, if it is a peer to peer protocol, so what is the feature of it? It does not need to go through with the server, and it able to directly communicate between the two machine, and it also has a faster communication rate as compared to any other protocols. Then why a web RTS is fast? Because it's easy to understand. It is not a traditional client server. In a traditionally, what we are doing, the client one send some data to the client 2. In between that, we have a server and a lot of different components into it. And it takes some kind of times and it increase the latency. Whereas in a web RTC, it has a peer-to-peer. When client one send data to client two, it actually goes. So client one is also act like a server and client two is also act like a server. So that's the reason there is no in between server interference. So it reduces the steps to send data. So it is more faster than a traditional way. So what is the use of it? And when I'm going to use WebRTS and normal, where we have required a client server, then you have to understand when you are talking to with your family members on a WhatsApp video call. At that point of time, your main agenda is to talk to your mother in a real time. Suppose uh, she is saying "खुश रहो बेटा," and after 2 minutes they so you want increase the latency as much as you can and be the real time data transfer. At that point of time, we are going to use web RTS. So it is mainly preferred for the calling, Zoom meeting, and the live streaming, uh, India Pakistan streaming to the Geo Hotstar, and for the real time communications. So these all are comes to the application layer protocols. In application layer protocols, what it comes? Let me create. a whiteboard things, and we will have a good summary of it. First, first we uh, what we had understand. We had understand the network protocols. We understand network protocols. uh, मुझको राना जी माफ करना अगर स्पेलिंग में गलती हो गई. I'm very bad in these things. Okay. uh, what we study? First we focus on network protocols. First we focus on network protocols. uh, we understand what is being define. When it define, then we understand we have a application layer. Actually, I'm so tired right now. Um, my eyes are not able to blink, but it's okay. I promise myself that I will going to study. Let me tell you one story. Right now, I just came to one of AI summit. No, I can't say the AI summit. It is a product launch in India, and the architect, the CTO, there's people who has a my age, around not more than 5 year of seniors. They are launching AI product, and that is inspirational. Man, you need to be work hard until you are able to sleep on this particular chair. Work hard, work hard, work hard, man, work hard. uh, I before a few days back, I was okay. Let me focus application there. So a few days back, I was listening application layer. Yeah, it's done actually. Not able to remember. Yeah, in application layer, in application layer. What happened here? Uh, let me keep the things. Application layer. This is bad. Let it be. For what we understand, we understand this application layer. Layers in application layer, we understand we have two types of. First, we have a client server protocols. This is client server protocol. What is client server protocols? We understand we have a client server protocols. CLINT, client server protocols, and we have a client server protocol, and when we have a client server protocol, the another we have a peer-to-peer protocols. Then we have a peer-to-peer protocols. And then we have a then we have a peer-to-peer protocols. Uh, first, uh, first we focus on client-server protocols. In the client-server protocols, we have multiple things. First, we understand the HTTP, uh, HTTP. Okay. It is tiring process. Let it be. I will revise it in morning. ऐसे भी कौन सा कोई देख रहा है मैं ही तो देखूंगा. So, web RTS protocol. I'm so tired. Yeah. Let it be. Tiring is just an excuse. Web RTS. What is web RTS protocol? When we understand about a web RTS, it is a web real time of communications. It happen with the peer to peer communications. We already understand on this particular when we are going to use on a video call and live streaming and all. So jumping to the transport layer protocols, we have a two to three two main type of protocol in a transport layer. We have TCP and IP, that is called transmission control protocol, and the second is UDP, that is user datagram protocols. uh, Definitely it's just time to understand TCP and UDP. So what TCP means, that how TCP works. We have a In a TCP we have a three level of it's a connection oriented, and UDP is a connectionless. When it comes to TCP, let's understand by step. In a step one, the client, like me, the any thing, can be the client which are interacting with the server. So the client are interacting with the server with the virtual connections. Now, this is the step one where the client are going to communicate with the server. Step two, data packet with a sequence. Now, data packets will going to flow. Like if we are sending some sort of data, and when you are reading the computer networks, then you will going to understand. When I was preparing for the gate, Ankit Dora sir is the one of the best teacher of the computer networks. I can say is like a he makes computer networks like a just a piece of cake. Even it's hard for the normal people, but I love it. So step two is like if we have a 25 MB of suppose just an example, if we have a 25 MB of data that I need to share with my friend, so it is going to divide it into five, and we have a capacity to transfer to send only five at one time, at one shot. So it will going to divide it by five. as a 1 2 3 4 5 5 packets. It will going to connect to the virtual, and then the server side is ordering maintain, and we have received 2 3 4 5, and 5 is after ordering. There's 1 2 3, and then acknowledgement goes for 1 2 4 5, not by the 3. Then client again will going to resend the 3. Okay, definitely I did it. I will going to tell you in a most layman term, which I can do. TCP characteristics. Okay, मजे की बात. So, let's leave about theory part. This theory part. So, what happened? TCP is like something. Let it be with a technical aspect only, so you can able to interact with your interviewer in this manner only. So what is TCP is when a client A try to try when client A generate a request for the server, and it is sending a data of 25 MB, and my data will going to divide into data packets with a 5 MB. So there's a 5 data packets. Now it goes to the server, and we have to send it. So uh, let me take an example so you can understand more. What happened when you are talking to your friend on a normal calls? At that point of time, there's a TCP calls. What happened when you are trying to press call with a number? It interact with a tower, and tower, taken short is tower directly going to interact with your friend. Now first it will going to send a connections to your friend phone. Now your friend's phone will going to send one acknowledgement to the your phone, and your phone now will going to send a ring to your friend phone. Now if they pick the call, now it's connection is established. So what happened when you are speaking something, it has a clear voice. Yeah, even you can try the video call. So what happened if you are sending 5 data packets, but any one single data packet will lose, then my friend's phone will going to send a acknowledgement for 4 packets, but not with a one. So duty of my phone is to send one particular data which haven't received of that particular acknowledgement. So this is TCP oriented. So it mainly focus on the data consistency, that when we don't want to lose our data on a single packets, and we don't want anything at urgent at at that point of time, we will going to use TCP. Let's focus on the behaviors part. So it is a connection oriented, and here order is maintained, and we have acknowledgement, and it is reliable also. It is slower because it try to maintain all the connections. And come jump to the UDP part. In UDP, that is also IP. How UDP works: client send to my server. Now data divided into the datagrams, again similar like to the TCP. Now send a multiple virtual parallel. So we don't have in the UDP, we don't have a fixed path. We propagate my data packets to the destination. It independent to take any path to reach my destination as fast as you can, means at a real time. So to do that, we may have some kind of data losses. Yeah, unordering of my data. So sometimes you can take an example when you are doing video call with your loved ones. some portion of pixels get updated later, or yeah, not visible at a right point of time. So it is using the UDP connections that are responsible for that. So here, my main goal is to be present in the real time to deliver my data to the client in a real time, rather than, and even I can able to take the risk of data losses. So at that point of time, UDP is more beneficial. So what is the behavior? So UDP is a connection lose, like it means that no connection maintained, and we have a parallel transmission. But here is we don't have ordering, we don't have acknowledgement systems. It is faster than a TCP because we don't have overhead of connections, ordering, acknowledgement, and it is based. So now the question is, Anvav, I understand. Tell me when the UDP is going to use. It is used as I told you, it's a live streaming, video calling, real-time applications. So why, if data is missing during the video call, keep moving forward? Because I don't want the past data. I want the future data that will going to happen. Don't waste for the missed data. It don't send the acknowledgement like TCP that my particular data is lost. So there's a when we don't have this priority, then UTP is beneficial. Speed is more important than the reliability. Okay, I understand. Scenario: when we have messaging app, at that point of time, WebSocket is more beneficial because we have two-way communication needed, and server must push the message to the client. We have video calling, that is web RTS, yeah, UDP plus UDP. We have faster peer-to-peer communications and real time. When we have a live streaming, then UDP is more beneficial. When we have a when we have a web browsing, just give me a minute. When we have a web browsing, HTTP, yeah, HTTPS is more beneficial. When we have a need to transfer my file, at that point of time, also HTTPS is beneficial. Some of the legacy system still they are using FTPS. Uh, we have a secure file transfer protocols, and when we are sending mails at that point of time, SMTP and IMAP is more beneficial, where SMTP is responsible for sending mail, where IMAP is responsible for receiving the mail. So, eh, understand the quick reference. Let me summarize this with this quick reference. When we have a two-way communications, if it is yes, then we will going to use WebSocket for the messaging app. If it's no, then HTTP for the web browsing API. And whenever we need to peer, if it is yes, then web RTS for the video calling. If it is not related to video calling, live streaming, that then then I will going to use client server model. And when we need speed over the reliability, then TCP is more beneficial than sorry, UDP is more beneficial than TCP. So this is the end of lectures. Thank you so much. In next video, we will going to discuss some any other system design concept. Thank you so much. Bye bye.